Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gridiron Gladiators. I am your host, Bam McGrath, for the Week 13 show. As of right now, I can tell you we are on the waiting game right now for Alabama. All we're doing is just waiting for the Arkansas LSU game to complete so that, actually, we're waiting for the week to advance, but the big game for us this week is Arkansas LSU as we wait to see who's going to win that game. As many of y'all know from my posts and everything. Um, Winner of the, let's see, if LSU, who's been struggling horribly this year, wins over Arkansas, Alabama goes to Atlanta to face Sox and Gators in Florida. And if not, then we just await what bowl game comes our way. We still have our end of the year matchup against Michigan, and should be a good game. And so it'll be a good battle. It'll be 9-1 versus 8-2, and it should be a great battle in that as we take on Michigan at the Big House. They came to our house last year. We whipped them 41-7. Left no doubt in that game. So I'm sure with their new coach this year, there'll be a different story for this year's game. But diving into the BCS poll, this is the poll I'm basically going to be looking at until the end of the year and kind of go from there. But as we all know, Florida lost to Sox and Gators lost to Fred Limbo. Let's see, it was a week after he just put the hurt on Georgia 49-7, then turns around, loses 27-24 to Auburn in a absolute fantastic game there. But that dropped Florida down the polls out from number one that they've held the last 2 years, poll to poll. And the new number one in that spot was Clemson. As they take over number one, they've been number one for a while now and have just been on a roll. They recently defeated North Carolina State 24-10. They take on Florida State on this week's schedule, and then if they come through that unscathed, then they will take on 11th ranked Boston College, who comes in matchup 9-1, depending on their game. But right now, Clemson holds the number one spot. USC with Big Tub at number 2, 10-0. Slim of Oregon, also 10-0, and really just he's got 2 big games left towards the end of the year. He's got Florida and Auburn. Those are big games for him. Florida comes to his place, and then Auburn does too. So 2 home games back to back for Slim and back to back weeks. So should be a good year. It should be a good way to end the year. So we'll see how it goes from there. Oklahoma takes over number 4 spot right now. They've been on a roll of late. Defeated Texas Tech 34-7. Now they take on Kansas. And then they have the U of Miami, not the University of Miami. Hurricanes, as we all know, it's the Redhawks of Miami U for their end of the year run. They come in at number 4. My team, Alabama, sitting at number 5. We've been number 5 the last 2 weeks. And our end of the year game, as I said before, will be Michigan. So it should be a good game. We are currently on a 7-game winning streak right now. Our only loss of the season, Arkansas. Number 6, Florida. Also same record as me, 9-1. Their only loss, Auburn. And then they end with Oregon and then USC. USC comes to their place at the end of the year. So there's going to be some bullshit. There's going to be some pole shifting before this thing is over. So we'll see what happens now. Nebraska comes in number 7. Ohio State number 8. Then Texas at number 9. Michigan at number 10. They actually dropped from number 7 to number 10 as they lost a tough game to Nebraska 24-17. Then they take on Notre Dame, and then, of course, my team. Penn State at number 11. Auburn coming in at number 12. They dropped a spot, and their last 2 games of the year, scrub game against FAU and then Oregon. Boston College, and then UCLA at number 14, and then to round it all out, no other users in the rest of the top 25. UCLA closes it out at number 14. So it should be interesting. We got some big matchups coming up in the next couple of weeks. Of course, big matchup for me, but right now the waiting game continues as we await the game of LSU and Arkansas. Arkansas wins that game. They go to Atlanta via the tie-breaking portion of the series because they beat my team. So, like I said, it doesn't look pretty, but we'll see what happens. Arkansas has been their let's see, their 2 losses on the year came early. 3 losses actually. They lost to Oregon, lost to USC, and then turned around and beat us in the SEC opener, and then went on a good streak, defeating Auburn, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Tennessee. Then was upset by Kentucky, 26-23, and now they get LSU and then Ohio State at the end of the year. But the LSU game is the one that counts for us right now, because that's the end of the SEC schedule pretty much for everybody. Going in this game, Arkansas 7-3, 6-1 right now in the conference. We're ahead 7-1. We'll just have to see where it goes from there. LSU comes in the matchup 3-7, 2-5 overall. Just an ugly year for the Tigers, who are generally pretty much up there in the top 3. It just wasn't their year this year, but hopefully they can pull out a win, get our 4th win of the year in, and go from there. Coming out this week is the bowl projections. Just going to run them down real fast and kind of go from there. And the New Mexico Bowl will be North Texas. And just to remind you, these are all projections. They are due to change week by week, so everybody keep a close eye on it. You have North Texas against Nevada in the New Mexico Bowl. St. Petersburg gets Memphis and Akron. New Orleans gets ECU. East Carolina gets Louisiana Lafayette. Las Vegas gets Maryland and Duke. Duke, who is surprisingly 9-1 in the Mountain West, 7-0 conference overall. So they're the change from the ACC to the Mountain West has really helped them out. San Diego State in the Poinsettia Bowl versus TCU. Tulsa and Idaho goes to Hawaii. South Florida and Ball State will take each other on in the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. Monarchy Car Care, Oregon State, Northern Illinois. Emerald Bowl, Louisiana Tech, Virginia Tech. Music City, West Virginia, Middle Tennessee State. Independence Bowl, Boise against Utah. Eagle Bank Bowl, we get Temple against Navy. That would be a very intriguing matchup. SMU and Washington State at the Champs Sports Bowl. Humanitarian Bowl, we get Rutgers and Fresno State. Holiday Bowl in San Diego, we get Florida State and Iowa. The Sun Bowl, we get Wake Forest and Washington, which is UA grad 90s team. So a possible Sun Bowl bid for him if he continues to finish out. Armed Forces Bowl, we get UAB and Wyoming. Georgia Tech and Marshall in the Liberty Bowl. The Texas Bowl, we get Cincinnati, Purdue. Michigan State against Notre Dame in the Insight.com Bowl. Chick-fil-A Bowl, we get Chick-fil-A/Peach Bowl, we get Vanderbilt and UCLA. So Clue Gate, we get possible trip to Atlanta if everything holds true. Next up, in the Outback Bowl, we get Georgia and Texas A&M. As many of y'all know, Georgia's looking for a new coach. I've already posted that on the forums. Take a look at it, gentlemen, and post your thoughts. Capital One Bowl, we get Arkansas against Missouri. Gator Bowl, we get the U of Miami Redhawks against Virginia. Rose Bowl, we get Oklahoma possibly against Florida. So could the Gators be heading to Pasadena? Well, that would be an interesting trip for Sox and Gators if that holds true. Fiesta Bowl would get Nebraska against Texas. That would be a very intriguing matchup there. Penn State with Boston College in the Alamo Bowl. Another user in that bowl there. Slim possibly takes his Oregon Ducks to Pittsburgh to take on Oregon against Pittsburgh in the Orange Bowl. My team, Alabama, right now we're slated for the Sugar Bowl against Ohio State. But things change around. Like I said, all this could change, so I will give you definitely an updated report every week. Central Michigan against Syracuse in the GMAC Bowl. Auburn and Michigan would battle it out in the Cotton Bowl. Boy, that would be intriguing. That would be quite the game to watch there in the Cotton Bowl in Texas. PapaJohns.com Bowl FIU against Ohio. And then so far, the BCS National Championship will come down to Clemson against USC. So right now, those are the bowl projections that are going on right now. Just to remind you again, gentlemen, these are due to change. So don't sell on the possibility of that right now. Would be intriguing if Alabama does take on Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl, and it would be user versus user. That would be an interesting matchup there, and but we'll just have to see how it goes as we get into the last 3 weeks of the season before the SEC championship gets going. Other than that, gentlemen, I hope you've had a fantastic evening and week so far. It's early, but hopefully everybody's been doing okay and good to go. Remember, the advance is tomorrow. I think the only one I'm waiting on right now is the possibility of Saxon Gators and Slim, if everything goes well for Slim. Other than that, have yourselves a great evening, gentlemen. Take care.